Everybody, listen. I got some more notebooks sent to me via mail, and we're definitely gonna look at this one because this one contains journal from being in the Sacred Valley of Peru and doing ayahuasca, doing 5-MeO DMT, doing Huachuma's plant medicine, ceremonial setting. It's a rite of passage almost for certain ethnic groups down there. And one of those ethnic groups are the Shipibo Konibo. This is an old journal that I got sent, and it's from Sunday, 9th of July 2023, when I had a very, very special and different kind of dream involving these Shipibo Konibo people. I think his name was Hector. I don't know if that's even his real name. And you see a map layout here and some fishes. And here I've been trying to draw it a little bit, and here's the woman sitting there. There's a layout. Now look at this. Here again, here we are, right? It's the same map. Doing a little. There was I was here, and some guy was standing on top of this plateau talking. You see him right there. He's got a guitar and he had curly hair. 9th of July 2023. So I went the extra step of drawing this map of where I was, this floating island in the sky with a giant tree. And this tree had an opening here where the boat could come in, and it had ponds here in the roots where they could fish for fish. And then there was a Shipibo village, and the houses had this kind of tapestry, which I was not used to seeing. But later I go on Google, later I found out that they have houses that are white and look like this. Later. So after I first dream it, then I check Google after the fact, and then I saw that is what I'm gonna do. Here you have Hector, the guy I call Hector. He was standing here. Some dude was standing here, and a woman was sitting here. I was here. In the beginning, I just beamed in here, and I don't know what's going on, and this guy is talking and explaining to these people, and I don't notice what he's saying, but whatever he says made this woman chop off this thread, and then the house fell off the island. It just would slide off the island, right? And so I walk over here because these guys are done talking. I walk over here, and he's facing me with his back. And when I turn him around, he turns around, and I say, "You are not Carlos. We are not Carlos." And he looks at me. He's like, "No, I'm not Carlos," he says. And the reason I said this was that he was wearing the same cape that Carlos Perez, who was one of the shamans at Arcana Sacred Valley, was wearing. They were wearing the same cape, okay? And then I meet this guy, and he looks very much like, the other brother, Eligio Perez. And he also had Eligio Perez cape. He was wearing his clothes, because I noticed this pattern right here. And then he took me to the tree, and he showed me that there were fishes living inside of the ponds that were made by the tree trunk. And he says, with training one can catch fish of a certain size. Sometimes we get pizza and PC2. And what I think he was talking about, longer practice, like la dieta, when they go into the jungle. And he was very young, he was just a kid. So he was talking about going into the jungle and having to do this strenuous meditational practice alone at a hut with just potatoes and fish. But then he said, sometimes I get PC and sometimes I get pizza too. Sometimes I get to have a little bit of a computer, sometimes I get to have a little bit of pizza. And I'm listening to him like, oh, interesting. Okay. And I was a little bit skeptical of the pizza and the PC because I know it's very distracting. And then I noticed that the fishes, they had these things on them, these long hairs right here. And it's like, it's a catfish. It's a catfish. And there's a special fish living in the Amazon or where these people are living that have these kind of ayahuasca-like patterns. And then at the end, I looked in here and I said, the boat comes here. The boat comes in through here. This is where they leave and this is where they arrive. The boat comes here. And I looked in and I was like, I've been here before. And then I woke up. Another dream I've had was this, you know, it's just a jungle. And you know how in dreams sometimes you just look at it like a movie? And then I could see in the jungle these snakes moving in the water. And then they come up from the water and they looked like this. And then the foot came out of their mouth. and and it's like, there's a plant known as toei, which I have. I own. They're called brugmansias in Latin. I own 2 of them. They make these beautiful flowers that smell really nice. And you know, it's one of the shamanic plants in Peru, but it's legal to own, and many people have them. They're so beautiful and they're so fragrant, those flowers. They just really, like when they're flowering, I have them right next to my rocking chair, so it's like get that head height, and I smell them. I hear the toes are coming out of the mouth, you know, coming out of the mouth like this. And then it changes, and it's like, it's my foot, you know, it's my foot, it's my toei, and they come up like this, and land off there, and then they kind of evaporate back into the water, like in thin air. I see something, and what I saw is actually very personal, so I will not show you. That's personal. But this doesn't prove anything, right? This doesn't prove anything. But it's a way for me to talk about it, and it's a way for you to see that, okay, look, something must have happened because he's putting in all this work. I mean, it doesn't prove anything, but it makes it less likely that nothing happened. Now, if you're skeptical of that, at least we got this, right? And so I'm colorizing it now. You see, this is a very old book, and you know, here we're doing it. We're talking about the Mapacho, how much I drank of ayahuasca, and this is of course in Peru, you know. And it's like showing me doing this Mapacho purification spell, basically putting this occult Mapacho purification vegetalista spell on myself to protect myself. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a beautiful ceremony. I wish I enjoyed it even more, but I'm always hustling, you know. I'm always working hard. I'm always going for. So I don't really have time to sit down and smell the flowers. And to be honest, this is for me. This is it, you know. Going for it, trying to get it, you know, trying to make the transition and do all these strenuous, very, very difficult practices. This was after like a 40-hour plane ride, you know, riding those airplanes, you know, and getting delayed and getting cancelled and getting delayed. It was super tired. Still going, still, you know, looked like a mess, you know, freshen up. It's go time. It's go time, you know, time to activate and to use my super duper power, you know. And this is real, you know, like ayahuasca. You can say what you want about the other stuff, the supernatural things, but this is real. And that's something we can go through now that we got the book. But I'm colorizing it now. It's not all of these have colors, you know. Most of this is black and white, very boring to look at. I'm gonna make it pretty, and then we're gonna look at it together. And this is gonna be like the coolest. Like if you're wondering if you're gonna visit one of those ayahuasca retreats, I definitely recommend checking those videos out.